Visit some other children whom I think you may already know. Mardy and Lisbeth, who lived in Junedale. You've heard of them, haven't you? Do you remember when they had an outing and Mardy jumped off the roof of the woodshed and nearly killed herself?
Titta! Jag kan flyga!
Abe made up all kinds of crazy stories. Like the night when he persuaded Mardy to go into the wash house and pretended to be a ghost.
Det är jag som är greve K.
Now we're coming to Catholt, where Emil lived. And look, there's Alfred. It was Sunday, and they were having a party at Catholt. People were on their way to the party, and the flag was at the pole. Aha, that's what you thought. It was little Ida who Emil who ran up the flagpole. So it was the tool shed for Emil as usual after one of his pranks. Suddenly they found that Emil had disappeared. Oh, how they searched for him everywhere, even in the stream. But there was no sign of Emil. But Emil had moved out of the tool shed. And over to the food store. And there, if you please, he lay down and went to sleep in a cupboard with a lot of sausage skins scattered around him. He had had his party. Another party everyone in Lönneberg talked about for a long time was the one given by Emil on Boxing Day. He invited all the poor, hungry people from the workhouse to come to Catholt and eat their fill afterwards. He had a good heart, that Emil. Have you noticed that we're flying? And those lights down there, that must be Vasastan in Stockholm. And Midge's house. He's probably down there, waiting for Carson as usual. Carson is a handsome, intelligent, and reasonably stout man in his prime. And he flies in when he likes.
What's the propeller?
Carson lives in a little house on the roof. And here it is. Oh dear, what a mess. We don't want to stop here. But what has happened to us now? We have become as small as Simon Small himself. He was no bigger than a thumb. And he lived under the floor, under Bertil's bed. He rented a flat there from a horrid rat. Bertil wanted to be as small as Simon so that they could play together. It's fun to be so small that you can bathe in a sugar bowl. Oh, what a storm! And we are in the middle of a great forest. This is Matt's fort,
Bertas.
where Matt's robbers hang out. Where treacherous grey dwarfs live behind the boulders. And rump hops beneath the roots of the trees. And there are Ronja and Burke too.
Dirk, Borka, son. Ronja, systrar mig.
They had moved to the Bear's Cave to get some peace and escape from the row between Matt's robbers and Borka's robbers.
Look at the bear's cave.
Matt's robbers were standing beside Hell's Gap, furious because Bork's robbers had moved into the fort without permission.
Orka din ärkemickel! Jag ska häva dig ut ur Mattisborgen! Har du skitsvängen med dig, Mattis?
But in the end, they became friends. And when spring came at last, Ronja yelled her old spring yell for joy.
Wow.
But what's going on here?
Fire.
There's a fire. This was where Jonathan took his sick little brother on his back and jumped out of the window. There was no more Jonathan.
He died.
He died when he jumped out, and poor Rusky was left alone. But one evening, a snow-white dove flew up and perched on the window ledge, and Rusky knew at once that it was Jonathan.
Jag kommer, Jonathan. Jag kommer.
Going over the wall.
Jonathan had talked about a place called Nangijala, where you went when you were dead. And Rusky went there too, to Cherry Valley in Nangijala. Jonathan was sitting there fishing. Imagine Rusky's joy. But in Nangijala, there was also Wild Rose Valley, which was no longer free.
Almost at the end.
It was ruled over by cruel Tengel and his even more cruel dragon, Katla.
Lejonhjärta, ännu inte funnen! Vår nåd är första
But a nice old grandfather, Matthias, lived there too. Jonathan and Rusky hid in his house until it was time to set out for Tengen's country.
Lejonhjärta!
Their journey led across the bridge over the terrifying Karma Falls. And it was there for the first time they saw Katla. The she-dragon from ancient times.
Jonathan, jag är rädd.
Then came the great final battle, which set Wild Rose Valley free again. But by then, Jonathan had already been paralyzed by Katla's fire. As they rested by the precipice that plunged straight down to the depths, Jonathan talked about Nangilima and how wonderful it was there.
It's a fun place.
Then Rusky took his brother on his back and jumped over the edge into the lights of Nangilima.